This is Akashvani. Time for a weekly program, Our Guest. I hand over the mic to the show host, Nitish Arora, for the same.
Today is International Day of Sign Languages. Language is very important aspect of our life, and that aspect covers communication part. If we want to convey something to the other, we use language. But there are people who cannot listen. We have to include them also into the mainstream. How can something be communicated to them? That is a huge challenge. You need not know any language, but still things can be communicated to you. So the start of the language was pictorial. So we had pictures depicting, we have murals, we have cave paintings dating to prehistoric times. And then there was an evolution of sign language. There are different sign languages used all over the globe. So if we can convey a meaning to somebody only through gestures, that also is communication, and that is why United Nations, recognizing this need, they came upon this idea of having an International Day of Sign Languages, which is a unique opportunity to support and protect the linguistic identity and cultural diversity of all people who have hearing disability. I have in my studios as my guest today Mrs. Akhila Kumar. She can study, interpret and take that message to many people who do not even understand any language. Akhila ji, welcome to our program. You are an expert in music, you are an expert in astrology, and you have done your work, research work on gestures in dance forms. So tell us, how important is sign language?
Yeah, namaste. When we speak of sign language, it is all kind of expression. Through expression, a language, basically the language is the emotions of a person, and also through the emotions, how they express with maybe through words, maybe through signs, maybe through music. So that will be conveyed effectively to the other people. That is naturally called as language. And when we speak of those people who cannot hear or who cannot speak, they also have the same equal rights to express themselves as a normal person do. So that way the sign languages, these are very important, and these languages, they have been used for centuries. So it is originated for the people who are in need actually, who cannot speak, who cannot hear. So that way the language it is evolved. The sign language can be defined as the mother tongue of disabled people.
So people who are challenged, who cannot listen to anything, I think sometimes that kind of deafening noises that are all around us, I think we sometimes feel that they are blessed that they cannot listen to all these noises that
exactly.
The humans are creating and the machines made by humans are creating, the traffic is creating. But then how difficult it is to communicate to them. Tell us, what are the challenges of a person who wants to mature in sign languages?
There are so many ways of communicating things. Maybe through the expressions. So popularly that is called as kinesics. Kinesics, actually it is totally different from that of the sign language, because in kinesics we use so many things. Smile is there, facial expression is there, eye contact is there, and then touch is there, gestures, emblems, illustrations, and head movements. These are all the part of kinesics. Whereas we cannot use all these things in the sign language, because in sign language we have to use both the hands, head, whole body will be used for that. So to communicate effectively, how people communicate it effectively, that is the question where the sign language come in. And for the challenged people, who have disability about hearing or about speech, really it's a challenge for them to communicate it to others. But still, there are dictionaries. They have formed about 10,000 words to use the sign language. So their meanings. So in that case, it can be communicated effectively when the educators of these disabled people, when they use that dictionary and learn it thoroughly. So in that case, they can effectively communicate. They can teach the communication part, for them.
So for the development of the sign languages, have we actually borrowed? Because if we talk about Indian ethos and Indian culture, we have a whole full-fledged Natya Shastra and lot of dance forms that communicate through gestures. So have we pick up something from those dance forms to be translated into the sign languages?
Definitely. Bharat Muni of Bharat Natya Shastra, he has expounded and he has elaborated these gestures, postures, everything, in a very nice manner. And that is the main classic of even Natya Shastra, even any kind of art form. There he has given expressions for all the Navarasas. So it be fear, it be happiness, it be calm and quietness. So like that, these 9 rasas are there. And he has given grammar to each and everything. So everything, when you show, so how you express yourself, how you, make use of your eyes, your face, your, body language. So that way, he has propounded all the theories for those Navarasas. Through them, it can be effectively used for, communication. And now, when we take up the dance forms, I just would like to quote one example for that. In Odissi dance form, Kelucharan Mahapatra, he used to depict, the gopis part through Odissi dance form. There, when he grind the sandalwood paste for Krishna, that expression has to be seen. It is worth, seeing, and it needs applaud. So like that, as with all love and affection, when he grind the sandalwood, it depicts, actually somebody is grinding and that too a gopi.
So which means if communicated properly, visual description of things become very easy for anybody who cannot hear or listen to. How much time it takes actually one to learn the sign language?
Institutes, they are offering courses from the government of India also. There are full-fledged graduation courses, diploma courses, everything is there. And yeah, it depends, how the student, they reciprocate and learn. That is very important. And then again, knowing the meaning of all the words, knowing the gesture of all the words, that is more important. There was an act, through the government of India. In 2016, they have given an act that the teachers who are dealing with the deaf and disabled students, they should know the sign language. That way, they have propounded a act also. And actually, in our India, at least 63 lakh people, they live without hearing and speech. Mm-hmm. As a perception, they perceived that a student with a disability, they don't have any right to educate, or they don't have a right to study like that. There was a perception. Mm-hmm. And it is somewhere in Aristotle, from there it comes in. But with the sign language and with the development, so it can be done. And even that also dated back to 685 AD, where a bishop of York, he taught a deaf to speak. So that way, that was considered as a miracle at that time. Okay. So a deaf person cannot speak, or a dumb person cannot speak. That was, misled by those philosophers. But at that time, he taught this a deaf person to speak, and that was later canonized also.
For India, I think if we contextualize it here, Doordarshan started beaming bulletins for hearing and speech impaired people. Now actually they have also started doing running commentary of cricket matches also for challenge audiences. That way the challenge is there. Most of us actually are using sign language in our, though we know communication, still we are using sign languages. Can you tell a few instances where normal people are also using gestures to communicate something?
Yeah, definitely. Even two people who are having language barrier, there also sign language, it wins over hearts also. As an anecdote, I can just say something as an incident. A lady was there, and she didn't know English and Hindi also. And her husband was posted in Dehradun. There she wanted to have a mosquito coil. So that way she was just looking, how can I purchase it? Yeah, communicate it. And she went to a shop And she tried to communicate so many, by way of, so many ways.
Signs.
But yeah, she couldn't. And at last, then she said, Suno. Like that.
It helps. Even in fact, somebody goes to a foreign country and there also you are impaired and challenged when you cannot understand their language. And that is where the sign language comes into front. You try to communicate. So which means sign language is not very difficult to understand and it can evolve, and it is still evolving. There are issues that there should be standardization. Is there any standardization in sign languages?
No, actually there are about 150 sign languages all over the world, but there is no standard form of it. So it should be standardized, as actually speaking. But even for anybody in danger, they have some signs. Or somebody who wants something, say for example, somebody wants water, then they can ask for that, or they can use the space or expressions or anything of that sort. Can be. It needs creativity, and it also includes creativity in everybody. Whatever, whoever is using this language, they have the creativity.
So are efforts being done to kind of standardize it? Are there universal or global level something is being done to standardize the sign language?
Actually, some institutes, they are working on it. Say for example, Equal Opportunity Cell, Delhi University, they are also conducting this. There they have a module, syllabus of this thing, disabled persons, and also Ramakrishna Mission. So they have they are doing this work since 2005. And they have opened up a website also for that, and they have a video visual thing also. So that way they are working on it. They have video relay service, and even they have written a dictionary on it.
So do we have separate schools and teaching facilities for such kind of challenged students, or they also come to the same school and university and study, and then it becomes very challenging for the teacher also to communicate?
Yeah, that is why this 2016 Act, it has given a class that the teachers who are dealing with the disabled persons, they should know the sign language. And they have separate departments also. What I have mentioned, this EDU, they have opened the courses for all, so that everybody will learn the sign language and they can communicate it to the people concerned.
So it basically is a challenge to deaf people into the fold of the mainstreams, and that is why there is a need to evolve this sign language.
Definitely.
And efforts are being done on global level as well as local and national level to evolve this language, take it first to the teachers and then to the students.
Yes, of course, because they should know, they should be effective enough to communicate it.
Have you also learned sign language?
Yeah, to some extent.
And you are drawing a lot from dance mudras also.
Yeah, of course.
When Indian para athletes have done so well in recently concluded Paralympics, which means that India as a country is trying to bring in every individual into the mainstream, and there is a focus of inclusive development, and that focus also extends to sign language. A lot of efforts are being done, and the efforts are still going on. The days like these help us to again recognize the problem and look for the solutions. Madam Akhila Kumar, thank you so much for being our guest today.
You were listening to the weekly program Our Guest, that is broadcast every Monday at 9:15 a.m. Don't forget to tune in next week, same day, same time and same frequency for more on Our Guest. Have a nice day.